So, today marks a historic day for the city of St. Augustine, Florida. Depending on which side of the fence you're on, because, that's the way the world is now. It's getting more and more divided every day. Anyway, there's been a push to take a monument down, a Confederate monument that sits in the Plaza, the downtown Plaza of St. Augustine. It was built in 1872. That's when it went up, and it's basically a memorial to basically remember people that died in the Civil War. And there were white people and black people involved. And this monument kind of memorializes, I should say, those soldiers that left, went to war, and never came home. And today, the city council had a meeting, and I got to give them credit for the meeting lasted 9-10 hours. I was going to try to keep track of who was for and who was against and all that, and I just gave up on that because I had no idea. I've never seen a city commission meeting that lasted 10 hours. They went through the meeting itself was held mobily, and because of the whole COVID craze. And so people that did show up to the Alcazar building downtown, they had to speak basically in a camera on a microphone to the commissioners. There was roughly 25-35 people, I think, that showed up and wanted to speak. There was a huge crowd outside, protesters for and against the monuments. But there was about 30, I would guess 35 people that spoke. I may be wrong on that, whatever. Sue me. Then they took phone calls. And there was roughly, 25, 30 phone calls maybe. And then they went through emails. They went through 350 emails that people had sent in, either for keeping the monuments or against it, getting rid of the monuments. The whole thing boiled down after they painstakingly went through all these. I give them credit for letting people speak their mind. I do. I mean, there's very few places in the world that you can speak freely your opinion and not pay a heavy price for it. So we're lucky to live in a country that allows us those freedoms. People always talk about rights and freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. Just watch what you say. And we have rights. We're lucky to have rights. Just because we have rights, though, doesn't always mean it's the right thing to do. Whatever. The meeting went on, like I say, for hours upon hours. They came to a decision, and it was voted 3-2. 3 for taking the monument down, 2 that wanted to keep the monument. So the monument's history. It is history, but you know what I mean. It's out of here. The 2 commissioners that voted no, I got to give them credit because they had an idea of not getting rid of the monument, keeping it where it is, but kind of transforming it into a monument, a memorial that included World War I, World War II, Civil War, all the wars that have been fought, all the soldiers that have died, and making it a monument that, everybody could kind of agree on and would bring people together. But that wasn't the case. They weren't hearing it, and so it's voted on, it's done, and it's gone. I've already heard there's more than one lawsuit that have been filed against the city now, so we'll see how that turns out. But the mayor voiced his opinion on how he was going to vote several days ago, which I don't think was right. So he'd already made his mind up without hearing people. He'd already made his mind up. I don't think that's cool. You know, was he just going to go through the motions of hearing people just to go through the motions? I don't know. You know, he brought up, I'm not ragging him. He brought up some good points. You know, some of the stuff I could agree with him on. And he's been around this town for a long time. His whole family has. But like I say, he did voice his opinion a few days ago about how he was going to vote. He already had his mind made up. Like I said, the other two commissioners that voted no, I thought it was a reasonable compromise to keep the monument and change it into something that would hopefully bring people together. You know, that's what the whole goal of all this is to bring people together, because we're getting further and further apart, and it sucks. But it is what it is now. And so in turn, I thought it was kind of peculiar that the vote was made, the decision was made, and within an hour or so, there was a crew downtown boarding up the monument and putting a chain link fence around it, 6-foot chain link fence all the way around it. I went and shot video tonight because, of course, it drew a crowd of people for and against. A lot of hollering, a lot of shouting, you know, a lot of commotion, a lot of cops were there, and, you know, everything went off peacefully. There's some pretty harsh words. There's some harsh words in the video. That it is what it is. Like it or don't like it. It's the way it is. And I don't know. I've lived in this town 56 years now, and grew up here, born here, raised here, lived here my whole life. And for the oldest city in the nation, a city that's built, you know, on history, proud of its history, and that includes black history, that includes white history, that includes a lot of different races in the history of this town. It's not just, you know, I keep hearing white supremacy and this and that. Yeah, in 64, Dr. Martin Luther King was here. You want to talk about racist back in those days? Oh, hell yeah. Racism was alive and well. Go watch some of the movies from back then. People today, they don't have an inkling of a clue about how it was back then. Most of them. There's still people, there's people here. I mean, I was born back then. So, you know, I remember later on, and you know, when I was a little kid, going downtown and seeing Klansmen in the Plaza. You know, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist here, because it has, without a doubt. But I thought we had made some progress since then. According to a lot of people, no, we haven't. I, myself, don't really agree with that. I have friends, because I don't agree with that, they tell me I'm racist, they tell me I'm ignorant, they tell me I'm, you know, all kinds of names. And these are like friends of mine, you know, whatever. If that's the way you think, sorry. I guess I don't really need to be friends with you, if that's what you think about me. So anybody that knows me they know I'm not like that. I can pretty much get along with anybody, you know, to a certain extent. Give me a reason to not get along with you, and I'm there. that's just, human nature, I think. But anyway, I went and shot some video tonight. And like I say, I thought it was awful peculiar that as soon as this decision was made, they were Johnny on the spot down there, boarding it up, fencing it up. It almost seems to me like they knew the decision had already been made and had things ready to go board it up and have it fenced up. I mean, it happened quick. So anyway, here's the video. You guys decide for yourself. Let me know in the comments what you think. And whatever. Like I say, I've got friends that have been pretty hateful. And if you want to be hateful, go right ahead. I really don't give a shit anymore. So, this is what happened today. The commissioners voted 3-2 to take the monument down in the city plaza. And tonight, it's a shitstorm down here.
Welcome to Horvath. I can't sympathize because I've seen worse. I can't sympathize. I just had to watch on live a man get suffocated to death by a police officer's knee. I can't sympathize. I can't sympathize with that. But the question is, how happened to the cops who did that? Is it common? We joke up. All of that. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Transparency doesn't make any fucking sense. So we're talking. Some white people, I don't see white people. It's like all white people are getting killed. I've never seen a fucking all lives matter fucking talking about, like all these white people are getting killed. No. Now they're still forming. There's still, and there ain't no one minority group. Sorry, there's three at least, maybe 100. And I'm sick of the way it's been played. But this ain't nothing. They can go down, but the problem still has to be addressed in our hearts. And that's why fucking address truth. Our hearts. Truth is, it never happened. Slavery never happened once that's down. Never mind. Defend it, please. They'll be there for you. Never happened. Meet with them. Once that's down, it didn't happen, right? That's the race history you're talking about, bro. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Exactly like they just erased all of them. They talk about the Bible. Think about it. So you're telling me the reason why you support this is because it's going to teach us not to race. Exactly. So we're talking about the racist shit. That's not what. One or two syllables no more. You probably didn't hear up there, but I was invited to the White House. My first house is 6 miles away. Okay, and you don't get how that happens. That means that I legally, it means I legally gave you large. Hold on, bro, you want to know? I gave the legal maximum donation to Dublin. You don't care, huh? You just got done calling me a liberal, but yet I got it. No, I didn't. I'm talking
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You can't say if you don't want to deal crack, don't deal coke.
I agree with you.
Okay then, so what's the difference? Why does a person who deal crack get 30 years, but a person who snorts it gets fucking rehab?
Okay.
It's a difference. It's a difference. They all these black areas competing in other areas. They're not going out there busting them down in meth labs out there in the shore and on the beach. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's ignorant to respond that way. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there's disparities. So exactly, the black community feeds the prison industry more than any other race. We're only 13% of the population, but we're over 80% of the prison population. Come on, bro. No, you can't do that. No, that's statistic. That's fact.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
That's all I'm saying. Exactly. That's the
So then what do we disagree on?
The point is that the police the west side of town different than they do other areas. So of course there's going to be more black people.
Agree. But at the same time,
Then the whole argument is
there's more violence right here than there is at the bar.
at the White House. I know.
And then if you're at the bar, who's in bar?
but that's not the point. But the point is there's crime in other areas, but they won't get caught often because they don't police the areas the same way. So of course you're gonna see crime if you're in their face when it's happening. Okay. Crime happens everywhere. Crime happens everywhere, but the arrest happens more so in other areas because of the amount of police in those areas. So if you put the police in the shores, I guarantee you find pounds of coke. I guarantee you find meth labs. Guaranteed. Caught crime and crime. It's about getting caught. It's not against the law. Just because you don't get caught doesn't mean it's not right. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right just because you don't get caught. You do the same shit. Absolutely. Just because you don't get caught doesn't mean that your crime is different from our crime. It's the same crime. It's the same crime. And then when you go a step further, you look at the judicial system. He can get caught with cocaine. I can get caught with crack for fucking 30 years, and he'll get fucking rehab. Where is that justice? Where is that justice? Where's wrong justice in that? There is no justice. Come on, bro. Okay, you want the South to rise again? Then what do you want to rise again? Is it the ideals? What does that mean? What does the South represent? When there was Civil War was going on, what did the South fight for? And what else? What else? What else? Okay, so you don't want to. We can't have an honest dialogue if you can't be real with yourself. If you can't be real with yourself, you can't have dialogue. There's no point in me even conversating. The South fought for free fucking labor. That's what they fought. That's how motherfuckers got rich. 400 years of free labor.
It's in the Confederate Constitution.
You want that back? That's what you fighting for? That's what you want that back? You want free labor again? You got a 400-year head start. God damn. Can we get some love too? We live here, we pay taxes too. Can we get some love too? That has to do with you scared. When you don't even know what the fuck it means. You think that shit just means taxes. That's ignorance. That's ignorant. I don't give a fuck about that.
Then why are you so
I don't give a
upset
fuck
with
about that. But what I'm saying is, it's the mentality behind it. Hey, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. What I'm saying is, it's not about the statues, it's about the mentality that comes behind it. The mentality of white supremacy that governs, it has governed us in every
you good, man?
of human life. Was they there by choice or force? Look at history. We were slaves. We were slaves. No. Come on, I'm not stupid. Come on now. So watch this. Was it by choice? Were we still slaves when the Civil War started? Okay, so did we have a choice? No, we didn't. If you own me, if you own me, what choice do I have? I have a choice. We're talking about history. The people you say, oh, they're black people fought in the Civil War. It don't make no sense. They don't give a fuck about history. They didn't have a ones who did, guess where they went? Up north. And we whooped that ass.
Americans talking about Jesus, bro. Don't even pay attention.
If you look at history, African American citizens who fought in the war that won the battle. You wouldn't have won it without it. You wouldn't have won that war without it. You wouldn't have won that war without it. So what you're saying is irrelevant.
Can I jump back to what you
Absolutely.
Just because we're agreeing on a lot of points.
Absolutely.
We're agreeing on a lot of points, and you're very, he does have a lot of points.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, we cool. We cool. Listen, I ain't dumb enough to swing on nobody. Y'all got tasers and guns and all kinds of stuff. We just having a conversation. It's just passion. That's all.